Right now, in hospitals and doctors' offices across America, seniors over 65 are paying medical bills that federal law says they do not owe. Not should not owe, do not owe. And in one specific situation, I'm going to explain today. Paying that bill is actually a federal violation, by the provider, not by you. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has put this in writing. It's in a document called MLN 7936176, updated September 2025, and it says, and I'm quoting directly, QMBs may not elect to pay Medicare deductibles, coinsurance, and co-payments. Not do not have to pay, may not, as in are not allowed to. If you've paid a medical bill in the last 12 months and you're enrolled in Medicare, please stay with me for the next 28 minutes. Because what I'm about to tell you could put hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars back in your pocket. Money that is legally yours. Money the provider is required by federal law to return to you, if you just know how to ask. I'm Masha, and over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 6 medical bills you should never pay after age 65, and the precise federal law behind each one. I'm going to show you who's protected, what the dollar amounts look like, and exactly what to say when the billing office calls. Stay with me until we get to the third protection, because that's where I'll show you the one mistake that even people who do everything right still make. It's costing seniors anywhere from $400 to $900 a single visit, and almost nobody catches it. This is TaxWise Seniors. Let's get into it. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 71 years old. He lives in a small town outside Akron, Ohio. He worked for the same manufacturing plant for 43 years before he retired. He gets a small pension, about $1,100 a month, and his Social Security check is $1,412. So Robert lives on roughly $2,500 a month, total. Last spring, Robert started getting chest pains. His doctor sent him for tests, blood work, an EKG, a cardiac stress test, and eventually a procedure at the local nonprofit hospital. Robert did everything right. He showed his Medicare card. He went to in-network providers. He followed every instruction. 3 weeks later, the bills started arriving. The hospital sent him a bill for $2,480. His cardiologist's office sent him another for $612. The lab sent a third for $194. Robert sat at his kitchen table with these envelopes spread out in front of him, and he did what most seniors do. He started writing checks. He paid every single one. He used money from his savings. He skipped his grandson's birthday gift that month. He told his wife not to worry. Here's the part that breaks my heart. Robert is enrolled in the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, QMB for short. His income qualifies him. Ohio Medicaid pays his Medicare cost sharing. And under federal law, specifically Section 1902 of the Social Security Act, not one of those providers was allowed to bill him. Not the hospital, not the cardiologist, not the lab. Every dollar Robert paid was money federal law said he didn't owe. And here's the cruelest part. The providers are required by federal law to refund every penny, recall the bills, and pull the accounts back from collections. But only if Robert reports it. If he stays silent, the loss is permanent. Robert is not alone. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that approximately 4.5 million Americans over the age of 65 had past due medical bills before the pandemic. A huge percentage of those seniors qualified for protections they didn't know existed. So let's make sure you're not the next Robert. Here's what CMS actually says, word for word, in their official September 2025 fact sheet. Federal law prohibits all original Medicare and Medicare Advantage providers and suppliers, not only those that accept Medicaid, from billing QMBs for Part A and Part B cost sharing. In plain English, that means this. If you are enrolled in the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, no doctor, no hospital, no lab, no pharmacy, no ambulance company, no specialist anywhere in America can legally send you a bill for your Medicare deductibles, your coinsurance, or your co-payments. Period. Who qualifies for QMB? In 2025, if you're single and your monthly income is below about $1,325, you likely qualify. If you're married, the threshold is around $1,783. You apply through your state Medicaid office. What's the dollar value? Let me show you. In 2025, the Part A hospital deductible is $1,676 per benefit period. The Part B annual deductible is $257. And after that, regular Medicare charges you 20% of every doctor visit, every lab test, every outpatient procedure. For the average QMB enrolled senior, this protection is worth $2,000 to $5,000 a year, sometimes more. Now here is the part that most people, including financial advisors, including some doctors' billing offices, get completely wrong. If you are a QMB and a provider hands you a bill, you are not just allowed to refuse to pay it. According to CMS, and I'm quoting again from page 4 of their official fact sheet, QMBs may not elect to pay Medicare deductibles, coinsurance, and copayments. Read that again. You may not elect to pay. That means even if you walk into your doctor's office and say, "I feel guilty, I want to pay my 20%, federal law says the provider must refuse the money, and if they've already taken it, they're legally required to give it back. Paying that bill is not generosity. It's the provider violating federal law, and your money getting trapped on the wrong side of that violation. What should you do? 2 things. If you think you might qualify for QMB, call your state Medicaid office this week and apply. If you're already a QMB and you've paid bills, save those receipts. We're going to use them. The official rule, straight from Medicare.gov. Medicare Part B pays 100% for most preventive services. No deductible, no coinsurance, 0 out of pocket, as long as the provider accepts Medicare assignment. In plain English, there is a list of services your doctor cannot charge you for. Not, should not, cannot. That list includes your annual wellness visit, the Welcome to Medicare visit in your first year, mammograms, colon cancer screenings, cardiovascular screenings, diabetes screening, bone density tests, flu shots, pneumonia shots, COVID shots, hepatitis B shots, all of it free. So why are seniors getting billed for these services every single day? Here's the trap, and this is the one I promised you in the opening. Most seniors confuse the annual wellness visit with an annual physical exam. AARP confirms this is one of the most common Medicare billing misunderstandings in America. The wellness visit is free, a traditional physical exam where the doctor pokes around, listens to your lungs, examines you head to toe. That is not covered by Medicare. If your doctor does both in the same visit, you can be billed for the physical portion. The other trap is what's called service reclassification. You go in for a free screening colonoscopy. Mid-procedure, the doctor finds a polyp and removes it. Suddenly, in Medicare's coding system, that colonoscopy is no longer a screening, it's now diagnostic. And you can be charged 15% coinsurance, which on a $6,000 procedure is $900. What should you do? Before any preventive service, ask one question. Will this be billed as a screening or as diagnostic? Get the answer in writing if you can. And when you schedule your yearly visit, use these exact words. I want to schedule my Medicare annual wellness visit. Not a physical, not a checkup. The annual wellness visit. Those words trigger the free billing code. Segment 3, the No Surprises Act, your emergency room shield. The official rule. As of January 1st, 2022, the Federal No Surprises Act prohibits balance billing for emergency services at any facility, for non-emergency services from out-of-network providers at in-network hospitals, and for out-of-network air ambulance services. In plain English, if you go to the emergency room, any emergency room, and you get treated by a doctor who happens to not be in your insurance network, that doctor cannot send you a separate bill for the difference between what insurance paid and what they wanted to charge. That practice is called balance billing. It's now illegal. How big are these bills? CMS data shows the average surprise bill before 2022 was between $1,200 and $2,600. Air ambulance surprise bills routinely exceeded $30,000. $30,000, one helicopter ride. Now, here's an important note for those of you on Original Medicare. The No Surprises Act technically applies to private insurance, but original Medicare beneficiaries have had similar protections for decades under Section 1848 of the Social Security Act. A provider who accepts Medicare assignment cannot balance bill you. So if you get a surprise bill from an ER doctor or anesthesiologist after a Medicare-covered visit, that bill is very likely improper. What should you do? If you get one of these bills, call the Federal No Surprises Help Desk at 1-800-985-3059. Write that number down, 1-800-985-3059. You can also file a complaint at cms.gov/nosurprises. The deadline matters. You have 120 days to dispute. The official rule: if you are uninsured or paying out of pocket, every healthcare provider must give you a written good faith estimate before your service. If your final bill comes in more than $400 above that estimate, you have the legal right to dispute it through what's called the patient-provider dispute resolution process. In plain English, providers can't quote you $1,000 and then send a bill for $5,000. The federal $400 ceiling is the line. Who does this affect? Seniors between 64 and 65 who haven't enrolled in Medicare yet. Seniors who see a doctor who has opted out of Medicare. Seniors getting dental work or cosmetic procedures Medicare doesn't cover. Any senior paying cash for any reason. What should you do? Always, ask for the written good faith estimate before your appointment. Save it. Take a picture of it with your phone. If the final bill exceeds it by $400 or more, file a dispute within 120 days at cms.gov/nosurprises. The official rule comes from 42 CFR Section 411.404 and Medicare's official guidance. It says, a provider cannot collect money from a Medicare beneficiary for a service Medicare denies, unless the provider gave the beneficiary an advance beneficiary notice of non-coverage, Form CMS-R-131, before the service was performed. In plain English, if a doctor performs a service, Medicare refuses to pay for it, and the doctor never warned you in writing in advance that Medicare might refuse, you owe nothing. Zero. The ABN is a specific yellow and white form. It tells you the service, the estimated cost, and asks you to choose whether you want to proceed and accept financial responsibility. If you never saw that form, you never signed it, and Medicare denies the claim. That bill is not legally yours. What should you do? If you get a bill for a Medicare-denied service, ask the provider, did I sign an ABN Form CMS-R-131 before this service? If they cannot produce it with your signature, the bill is improper. If they did get your signature and you still believe the service should have been covered, you have 120 days from the date on your Medicare summary notice to file a redetermination. That's the first level of Medicare appeal. Miss that 120-day deadline, and the denial becomes final. The official rule comes from the IRS, not from Medicare. Section 501R4 of the Internal Revenue Code requires every nonprofit hospital in America to maintain a written financial assistance policy. To keep their tax-exempt status, they must offer reduced or free care to qualifying patients, and patients who qualify cannot be charged more than what's called amounts generally billed, basically what insurance would have paid. In plain English, that big nonprofit hospital chain in your area, they are legally required to have a charity care program, and most of them never mention it. The dollar impact is staggering. Hospital chargemaster prices, those scary numbers on your bill, are typically 2 to 4 times what insurance actually pays. A senior eligible for financial assistance might be billed $40,000 for a procedure that should cost them $0, or at most $8,000. Many seniors with incomes below 200% of the federal poverty line qualify for full free care and never find out. Here's the deadline you must know. Under 26 CFR, Section 1.501R-4, the hospital must accept your financial assistance application for at least 240 days from the date of your first post-discharge billing statement. That's about 8 months. After that, they can send you to collections and pursue lawsuits or wage garnishment. What should you do? After any nonprofit hospital visit, call the billing office and say these exact words. I want to apply for financial assistance under your 501(r) policy. That phrase, 501(r), tells them you know the law. Ask them to send you the application. Submit it. Worst case, you don't qualify. Best case, your bill drops to zero. The 3-step action plan. Now let me give you exactly 3 things to do this week. Not 5, not 7. 3. Step 1. Check your QMB status. Call your state Medicaid office and ask, am I enrolled in the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, and if not, do I qualify? If you're single and earn under approximately $1,325 a month, you probably qualify. This call takes 10 minutes. It is completely free. If you qualify and enroll, every Medicare cost-sharing bill you get from this day forward is legally not yours to pay. Step 2. Gather your last 12 months of medical bills and receipts. Spread them on your kitchen table the way Robert did. For each one, ask, was this for a preventive service that should have been free? Was this a balance bill from an out-of-network ER doctor? Did anyone hand me an ABN form before the service? If you find one bill that looks improper, call 1-800-MEDICARE. That's 1-800-633-4227, and ask them to review it. Write that number down. Step 3. This is the one most people skip. If you've already paid a bill that you now believe was improper, do not assume the money is gone. Call the provider's billing office and say, I believe this bill was issued in violation of federal law. I am requesting a recall of the charge and a full refund. If they push back, call 1-800-MEDICARE and report them. If you skip this step, the refund never happens. CMS will not come knocking. The money only comes back if you ask for it. Before you leave today, drop a comment below and tell me, did you know about the QMB billing prohibition? Yes or no, just those words. I read every comment on this channel and I reply to as many as I can. And listen, if you have a parent, a sibling, a neighbor, a friend who's on Medicare, please share this video with them right now. Today. Don't wait. The share button is right below this video. One share could save someone you love $1,000 or more. That's not an exaggeration. That's the math. If you're not subscribed to TaxWise Seniors yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post new videos every Tuesday and Friday, breaking down the rules that affect your Social Security, your Medicare, your pension, and your bank account. These rules change constantly, and you deserve to know about them before the bill arrives, not after. In my next video, I'm covering the 7 Social Security letters you should never ignore, including the one that arrives in a plain white envelope and gives you exactly 30 days to respond before your benefits can be suspended. Click right here to watch it now. This is Masha with TaxWise Seniors. Protect your money, protect your benefits. And I'll see you in the next one.